Hello everyone, back to tuning in to today's Verb video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's Verb video, day 10. It's going to take us to the 6th of November, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. So we're trying to weeks, have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, and that gets us well into the second half of November. I shall get on that for you very shortly. Just say about the first video release today was our 7 AM forecast. We've also released the USA forecast, as always, on a Wednesday to have a look at weather for the United States. And tonight, 7 PM, we're going to have the third and final Christmas 2021 sneaky peeky. So that's going to be a bit of a laugh. We'll have a look at CFS V2, 4 CFS V2 runs, actually. For Christmas. It's the third and final sneak peek ahead of the Christmas countdown beginning next week, and all the detail on the Christmas countdown, will be revealed. All will be revealed in the sneak peek video, but you'll be able to see from 7 PM. So if you're around the channel, make sure you check out that. It's a bit of fun. Right, okay, so please like, share, subscribe on video. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Got to put on just 20 subscribers or so now to get to 12.4k. So we are getting very close to 12.4k. Please give us a sub if you can. And tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. Hope you're having a lovely Wednesday. Right, let's crack on then. So we're going to start off central in temperature. The CT is currently standing at 12.4, which is an anomaly of 1.5 degrees above average, more or less. That's provisional to the 26th of October. I think that's going to come in around 12 degrees now, because we are having some very mild days. So that's going to come in somewhere close to around 12.0, I think. Above average, but not as excessively warm as September was. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. Looking at London today, so red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. We're starting off really quite warm at the moment. From tomorrow onwards, the upper air temperatures will gradually lower and decline. Actually, as we go into next week, it does look as though things will go quite cold for a few days. A little bit of a cold snap coming along through the middle part of next week. In particular, into the second week of November, we may well have a bit of a warming trend appearing here. You will notice that the big green line, which is today's GFS midnight operational run, does become actually very mild into the second week of November. So we might see the temperature lifting back up after a colder opening week. Precipitation-wise, a lot of dry weather over the next couple of days, but from the end of the week, and that's like the southeast, of course, in the northwest, could be really wet over the next couple of days. So North Wales, northwest England, deluge is on the way. Cumbria down to sort of North Wales will be some very, very wet weather there over the next couple of days. But in the southeast, it's going to be a lot of dry weather next couple of days. But from the weekend into the part of next week, it does turn significantly wetter. And then beyond that, perhaps a little bit of a drying trend, actually, as we go through the first week and into the second week of November. As it gets colder, it probably starts to get a bit drier. Temperature anomalies from the 27th of October to 4th of November are going to be warmer than average. Precipitation anomalies from the 27th of October to the 4th of November going to be wetter than average. So really quite a wet week coming up for most parts of the country. Northern Scotland, though, does stand out. It's been a little bit drier. Latest wind map from earthnorthschool.net shows that we're drawing up some very mild southwesterly winds today, and these are moisture laden, bringing lots of heavy rain to the far west and northwest of the country. Here's UK Met for Saturday then. So looking unsettled on Saturday. Low pressure is in control of the weather. Keep an eye on this area of low pressure off the coast of Spain and Portugal at midnight on Saturday. By the time you get through to midnight on Sunday, it looks like that area of low pressure is possibly pushed northwards towards the southern part of Ireland. Or it might be this little elongation, I suppose, just here. But there's lots of low pressure around as we go into the weekend, and that spells trouble in terms of heavy rain and strong winds as well. Also notice this very significant area, low pressure just here. I'm not sure if that might be a medicane. Might be. That might be a little bit of a medicane there in to the south of Italy. So that could bring some very stormy weather to that part of the Mediterranean. Right, we go through to midnight on Monday. Deep low pressure off the east coast of Scotland. That bring gale force winds and heavy rain to any parts of the country. It's going to be a really unsettled weekend, maybe a bit of a washout Halloween. Then that low pressure clears out of the way into the North Sea through Tuesday into Wednesday, and that's when we get this cold snap coming along, turning wind into the north. It gets colder, showers probably turn wintry across the northern part of Scotland, and we could get our first sort of overnight frost even down into the southern part of the country, middle part of next week. That's as far as we go with the UK Met. Let's have a look at the GFS midnight run. Again, looking quite unsettled at midnight on Saturday. Low pressure is around the country, and that takes us through to midnight on Sunday. So we've got like an area of low pressure pushing through here. I think that's the one that's off Portugal on Saturday. Another low is to the west of Ireland. They're all going to merge together really and form one big area of low pressure. It's a complex pattern, but the upshot is going to be a lot of wind and rain over the weekend, and a little bit of a washout weekend coming perhaps. Into the early part of next week, low pressure will eventually push through and pull in those northerly winds. So here comes the colder air around the middle part of next week, with winds into the northwest, possibly tilting round to the north. That could bring wintry showers across northern parts of the country as well. By the end of next week, this is Friday the 5th of November, bonfire night, winds are backing into west. So it's only a little bit of a cold snap on this GFS run, and then winds turn back into west, begin to go milder. And as we head up towards day 10 and beyond it, then we start to draw back in these very mild southwesterly winds again. We have high pressure re-establishing over France and some parts of Europe, low pressure around Iceland, classic zonal sort of southwesterly type setup, and so up comes much milder winds by the end of the first week of November. And then that takes us into what is an unsettled second week of November as well, probably turning wind back into the northwest there by the end of GFS midnight run, which gets us to the 12th of November. So alternating between colder and warmer interludes or milder interludes. This is the GFS 6Z, and it looks like that. So really unsettled over the weekend. We're going to establish that. There's going to be lots of wind and rain to come. Some places will have a bit of a washout weekend, I think. Into the early part of next week, the low pressure transfers eastwards. We start to pull in these colder winds from the north and from the northwest. So a little cold snap around the middle part of next week could deliver the first sort of proper overnight frost to southern parts of the country. By the end of next week, winds start to back into the west again, so it begins to get a little bit milder. And then as we move up towards day 10, we find ourselves going into a little bit of a ridge. That's probably quite a coldish ridge. Could keep frost going, especially so down in the south. And more extended range, we revert back to a west or southwesterly, so milder through the second week of November, but still a little bit wet and windy, particularly so for northwest. South and southern eastern areas still protected by this ridge, though. So, like after a briefer interlude of colder and very unsettled weather through the first week of November, the second week of November tries to get back to the pattern that we've been in throughout most of the autumn, which is southwesterly and a lot of dry weather in the south, but wind and rain up in the north. The GM looking like this. If you're enjoying the video, please smash the like button. Make sure you're subbed to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. And drop a comment. Let's say what you think about this and all of our videos. GM looks like that. So it's all much of a muchness for the weekend. There's going to be lots of low pressure around, spells of rain, and particularly later on in the weekend. Sunday, I think, out of 2 days, Sunday probably most unsettled. Into Monday, this low pressure looks very significant. Will bring potentially some gale force winds and a really wet weather as well. That low pressure then transfers into the North Sea through the early part of next week, draws in those colder northerly winds. So yes, we get a little bit of a cold snap through the middle part of next week. And then same idea, late next week, end of next week, winds back into the west. It begins to go milder. Initially for Scotland, England and Wales under this ridge, probably still quite cold up to Friday. But even there, you know, probably start to get milder as we get through to Saturday, day 10, looking like that, which is Saturday, 6th of November. Maybe going to re-establish a little bit of a northwesterly again with that one. And then the ECM is looking like this. Once more, it's really unsettled as we're going into the weekend. Plenty of wind and rain to come. So about next week, the low pressure moves into the North Sea. We pull in a northerly wind, so it goes colder through the middle of next week. Could be wintry showers in the north and overnight frost going all the way down to some parts of the country. But by day 10, we're back into much milder west or southwesterly winds once again. So it is only a brief colder interlude through the middle part of next week. This is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from tometeo.com. Plenty of rain in the north and west over the next few days. It's going to be a real deluge from southwest Scotland through northwest England into Wales and southwestern England over the next 24 to 36 hours or so. And even into Friday, we're only then starting to push out rain eastwards. Then going to weekend, it's showers or longer spells of rain, lots of wet and windy weather to come over the weekend into the early part of next week. Little bit very showery, but a little bit colder. Could see some of the showers turning rather wintry. In the north, then high pressure ridges in, turns us drier. A couple of days later next week before the rain returns as we move up towards day 10. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10, which will get us to the 6th of November. 19 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure ridging up from the southwest. Low pressure is to the northwest, so the wind will be doing something a little bit like that, coming from a westerly direction. So getting milder, but under the high pressure, I suppose it could bring some frost, particularly towards southern areas. It does include the control and the operational run. We've also got 16 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure, more or less, over the top of the country, and a little bit on the cold side of that ridge, bringing wind from the northwest. And then we've got 16 with low pressure to our north-northeast, high pressure is to our west-southwest. A bit unsettled with that, winds in from right or west to possibly slightly northwesterly direction. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It will get us to the 11th of November. 13 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to our east and northeast, high pressure in the Atlantic, sending the jet stream on northwest-southeast alignment, unsettled, a little bit on the cool side with that. 9 with low pressure over country and to our south, high pressure in the Atlantic. That looks a bit cool, maybe chilly and wet. Another 9, which are quite flat, high pressure to the southwest, low pressure to the northwest. They're going to be bringing in winds from a west-southwesterly direction, so that's going to be milder. That's going to be a milder scenario. 8 with high pressure just to our west, could be mainly dry. Could be a little bit on the chilly side with that, though. 7 with high pressure ridging through the country from the Atlantic into Europe. That'll be mainly dry, although we're on the mild side of jet stream. That might actually be quite chilly under that high pressure, because I think we'll be drawing in wind off the continent. So it may be frost and fog, that sort of thing with that pattern. And then 15 with high pressure going right over top of the country, deep low pressure towards Greenland and Iceland. That's probably going to be, again, quite a chilly scenario, actually. Although on the mild side of the jet stream, but under the high pressure, it could be a little bit on the cool side, maybe with some frost. Right, last thing to look at is CFS V2. So these are 500 millibar heights broken down to week periods. The first week period takes from 27th of October to the 2nd of November. Low pressure moving in off the Atlantic, turning unsettled this week. Plenty of rain to come. Week 2 will be the 3rd to the 9th of November. A little bit of a cold snap. Low pressure to the east, high pressure to the west. That will be unsettled and quite cold, with winds coming in from the northwest. Week 3 will be the 10th through to the 16th of November. High pressure right over top of the country then, bringing lots of dry weather. And probably quite mild too, as the air is coming up from the southwest around that area of high pressure. And then week 4 is the 17th to 23rd of November, with high pressure centred right over top of the country. That's dry and probably quite mild again. We are on the mild side of the jet stream, so the CFS going dry and mild into the middle part of November today. Right, if you enjoyed the video, then please can you smash the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to our channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. And drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Thank you so much. If you do give us a sub, you're going to be able to see future weather content, including future winter updates, future live streams, and future Christmas updates as well. More about that in a second. We just need 20 subscribers now to get to 12.4k. So, getting ever closer to 12,400 subscribers. Please give us a sub if you would like to do that. And tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. Right, that's it for this video then. We are going to be back at 7 PM though, with our third and final sneak peek for Christmas 2021. So it's a bit of a laugh, bit of fun, and that'll be released at 7 PM. That is ahead, of course, of the Christmas countdown. Beginning officially and formally at GavsWeatherVids next week. But for this video, anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Just say what's coming up tomorrow. So, going to start off with the 7 AM forecast, European outlook, and a 10 to 14 dayer for you as well tomorrow. But as I say, for this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.